all the places that we need to be. And I can't wait to show you the harvest, to share what this is all about, because y'all know I don't grow dahlias, right? What this is all about, and looking at the harvest. It's pretty beautiful. And it feels to me, I'm not sure if the colors are truly more vivid or if there's...
You're live.
Oh, hey friends, we are live. Welcome to the Gardener's Workshop live shopping show. It is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler. And look at this, y'all. I mean, I think I might just hold these for the whole show and we'll just scratch all the rest, right? Welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. We'll talk about this in just a moment here. Today's show, I'm doing tips and troubleshooting for indoor seed starting with cool flowers. I'm also going to be demonstrating how to make the small soil blocks, right? Which is my go-to, the one that I use most of the time, and kind of what we're planting now. We're going to show you what's blooming back here behind me, as well as I've got some eucalyptus to show you where I actually make the cut. And of course, I always have a giveaway, y'all, but this week it's different. So we have 2 courses I'm giving away today. And remember, you have to be in the app to be able to participate with that. And then we're wrapping up the show like we always do with a little Q&A. And so if you have a question you would like to ask, just post at Lisa and then post your question, and the girls will gather those up and select a couple for me to actually try to answer at the end of the show. So I love that. So friends, before we get in, and y'all do this so much and we appreciate it, hit the share button down at the bottom right side of your app, and that'll let people know that you're live here and you can share it with them, because we would love to have them come. We have so many new viewers every week and we know it's because you guys are sharing it, and we appreciate that so much. So before we actually jump into the show, a little bit of housekeeping. Please be sure to go in and double check your phone number and your email address here inside the app for when you place orders. There's typo issues, and we cannot ship without that information. So that kind of holds up the whole freight train, right, when you place an order. And remember that shipping here in the app only for seed packet only orders ships for free, right? And then when you purchase products, there's a cap on shipping, and it's $9.95, a flat fee, one time, no matter how many products you buy. And that's pretty important for today's show. And so remember, we also ship to all 50 of the United States. So friends, if you have just joined us here from social media, we are so glad you found us and dropped in. What you need to know is that we have a phone app. Why would you want to do that? The experience is so much better, y'all. Not to mention, you can then enter the giveaway. You can get on the comments with the other viewers and participate. You can actually build a favorites list. So you could just jump over to your phone's app store and search Gardener's Workshop and download it and get back here before we really even start the show, y'all. So check that out. It is just a whole different experience. And the funnest part of that is chatting with the other viewers, right? So sometimes we sell out of certain items during the actual show. And so if you go to put a product in your cart, I almost said golf cart, y'all, into your cart and it says out of stock, get notified, you might want to hit that get notified. That simply means that when it goes back into stock, you'll get a little ding on your phone, especially if it's something that's on special. So check that part out. You try that out. And also, if you're seeing people post the sunflower emoji, those are people that are identifying themselves as our family, our students from any of our online courses, and we love it when people do it. So friends, I just want to take a moment to show these and share them. These are, I don't grow dahlias, and we don't sell dahlias, but I purchased these dahlias this week from Daniel at Petal Pickers. Daniel is a flower farmer in South Carolina. He was actually one of my students. And he started shipping all over the United States several years ago. And while their farm was hit by the hurricane, it was not nearly as impactful as so many of our friends, which I can't even talk about, y'all, or I'll be bawling on here with you. So they just got power back this morning, but some of his fields survived, obviously. Look at this. And so, as in an effort just to help support his farm, I ordered 2 boxes of dahlias. And this is the equivalent of 2 boxes of dahlias. And I just want to say, first off, where is it? Petal pickers. Anybody can have these dahlias shipped to them at home if you're in the 50 United States, or actually I think the lower 48. It's petalpickers.com. And as a person that does send flowers when, one of our contractors his dad passed away, so we wanted to send something. I mean, you reach out and send of various different things. And for that, we did contact another flower farmer, the Gretel and Steve, that shipped and had them ship him flowers. Well, I am feeling like whenever it's time that you have to send flowers to somebody and it's not in your hometown where you can do it, I think this should become the option, is finding one of these local flower farmers, local as in growing them, that actually are experienced in shipping. Because let me tell you, I have spent more than what these cost sending flowers and then they get wired to a florist in the town of whoever that is, and been so sadly disappointed. This, my friends, is just a sample of what's an option. So Petal Pickers. So he ships throughout the season as long as his flowers are in season. And I just want to say, support small businesses, especially during these really, really hard times. And you can have dahlias just like this too. These just came out of a box yesterday, y'all. Amazing. So check it out, Petal Pickers. All right, friends. So we got a couple other little announcements. First off, we're having a retired seed sale, and so it's in the app only. Just a handful of seeds that we're discontinuing, and they're under big discount. They're priced as marked, and when you're inside the app, there's a tab at the top that'll say retired seed sale. I would guess it says, and check that out there. Now today, I am giving away 2 of my Seed Starting Made Easy courses. This is the perfect time of the year for this, right? So we're going to have 2 lucky winners, and Kelly has it up, that white box. Just click that, and that'll put you on the list. And here's the exciting thing. Let's just say you already have the course. You'll be able to gift this to somebody if you want to. So don't not enter just because maybe you already have the course, because the way it'll be doled out is you'll be able to submit the email address of whoever is going to receive it. So don't miss out on that opportunity, and we'll be selecting those 2 lucky winners at the end of the show, and you have to be present to actually claim it. So friends, we always kick off with my books. These are the roadmaps to growing the cut flowers, right? So this is the book, the Cut Flower Handbook. It's a hardback book that's 8 by 10, gorgeous imagery. I haven't opened this one up in a while and shown y'all anything inside. I'm just looking. Oh my gosh, look at this. I love coxcomb, y'all. This book is packed with beautiful imagery, but more importantly, it includes 66 different flowers, and the front portion of the book is all about how a cutting garden works and then how to do it. And it shares tips like my number 1 success tip is to start super small. The Cut Flower Handbook is $30, and it'll include the PDF download of flowers that didn't make the book. I had to stop and think about that for a minute, y'all. That's going to be a really powerful resource for you. And then my book, Vegetables Love Flowers, which is, a book not about growing vegetables, y'all. This is about a 3-season cutting garden and why it's beneficial to have a cutting garden in your vegetable patch and all it does. This book really highlights my natural gardening philosophy, and this one has some amazing diagrams in the back. I mean, it's all about the light bulb moment of when you figure out succession planting, and these diagrams really help that. Now, this book, when you purchase from us, comes with a video book study. And so you'll get that in addition. And of course, I sign all of my books. I love doing that for you. And then, of course, friends, the book that started it all, and that is Cool Flowers. So This is the first bite of learning how to grow cool season hardy annuals, which is all of the spring bloomers, sweet peas, snapdragons, and so many others. Bells of Ireland. This book is $22.95, and it also comes with a video book study. So this is the first one we ever did that on. And I actually I was thinking the other day, I wanted to go back and listen to the book study again. So it's just really fun. It's like the backstory of the book, chapter by chapter, right? So would love to sign one of these for you. And so the tip of the day is where you can find just tons of cool flower tips. So we have several resources that you can just go in and just really get a refresher or start learning from the beginning. First off, our blog has a cool flower category. And at the top of that category is a post called the Cool Season Flower Chronicles. And that kind of has all the resources right there. It's got the cool season seed category. It has the cool flower book. It's got the cool flower seed online course. It just has all, and then the Cool Flower Chronicles is actually a series of 5 videos that's like frequently asked questions. So check that out, as well as Seed Talk, which is one of our podcasts. The whole month of September, all the episodes were all about troubleshooting different areas with cool flowers. And of course, there's my book and the course. So you have everything at your fingertips that you need to actually succeed with cool flowers. So let's talk about cool flower seed starting, and we're going to start that off by what you should not do. So don't start them too early. We are faced with so many individuals at this point in time that are having troubles, and the troubles is because it's just still too warm. Don't start them indoors if they prefer to be planted outdoors. That's the first thing you have to learn about every seed is what is its preferred seed starting method, which just means what's the easiest way to do it. So often when people reach out to us, it is simply the fact that they try to start it inside, but it really should have been planted out. So don't start them indoors if they prefer outdoors. Don't place trays directly on the seedling heat mat. Now, this is a really great one. So I use those little cookie cooling racks, like you put your cookies on. I place those on top of my seedling heat mat to create an airspace, and that just cools the heat mat down a smidgen, because cool season hardy annuals do still need warmth. They just don't need it hot like warm season tender annuals. And then don't let your grow room get too hot. This is another frequent flyer. I feel like people spend too much time focusing on some of the wrong things in seed starting. The number one thing you should be focusing on is your environment and where you're going to be starting. You have to have a way to adjust the heat and the cool, whether that means opening a door, closing drapes. You have to figure that out. It's really, really important. And we don't pinch in the fall. Unless it's an emergency, meaning they're just growing way too big, and we might do it then. But our first preference is to not pinch in the fall before they're getting ready to go dormant and to go, and go into winter. So now we are going to do our soil blocking demo, and I'm going to show how I make the small soil blocks. So I actually like using our ready-made mix, even though I was the one that made the soil blocking mix at home for many, many years. And the blocking mix, which you'll see all this here in just a moment, they're switching cameras. The blocking mix, everything, all the instructions for soil blocking tell you this. It's 3 parts of whatever your dry blocking mix is to 1 part water. So you want it to be kind of like, not soggy oatmeal, but just a little shy of that. And so I typically like to push my blocker down twice. That ensures that all the chambers, and yes, y'all, this is a potato masher that I use to strike off the extra. And then I am going to use one of our flat bottom trays with no drainage holes. I'm just laying the tool there, and I'm pulling up and pushing the plunger at the same time. And y'all look at that. I mean, I have made millions of these. and I'm still so surprised every time it does it. I just made 20 containers. Is that not amazing? And so now I thought it would be really suiting for me to sow snapdragon seeds because people often have questions. See how tiny they are? Can y'all even see them? And so I use a toothpick with saliva, and snaps should be firmly seated on the surface. And when you use this little seed pan, which is aluminum, it has no static electricity. So that means you're not chasing the seed all over the container, which you didn't know about this. You just can't imagine how this is such an eye-opener. I really could use help with somebody helping keeping me on the spot here. So I'm just firmly seeding. So snaps need light to germinate, so we firmly seed the seed on the surface. So I'm just keeping on, and when you don't dump a bunch of seeds into your little pan, it's so much easier to pick them up. If you pour a bunch in there, then they pile up on your toothpick. That's why I can move so fast. Having someone here to help me hold the tray, since I'm not working on a regular surface, you can only imagine how amazing is that. I dumped out the exact number of, these are Snapdragon Madam butterflies, by the way. And there you go. How quick is that? So they're securely sewn right onto the surface.
Have you ever showed the seedlings?
I have not. So I want to show you some of the seedlings. And so that was our little micro tray, which holds one set of 20. This is, if you love these trays as much as we do, you'll find them over on our big website, thegardenersworkshop.com. This is 100 of the small blocks. And this is Monarda lambada. And these guys are about 10 days old. They're pretty beautiful. I could just sit here all day and look at little baby seedlings. And this is 1018. So what is that? 12. That's about 2 weeks old. This is Feverfew. And this is Begmo single. And you can see how tiny they are. We sow the seed in this size block. They grow in this block till they go to the garden. And we plant this block out in the garden 99% of the time. Totally love those. So you use the size tray that fits the number of plants that you actually need to grow. 100 is kind of our standard around here now. So we totally love that. Now, the deal of the day today is our complete seed starting kit. And the deal part is that it always has additional shipping when you buy it over our big website because it costs more to ship. Here in the show today, when you purchase it, you only pay $9.95 to ship it. And that's just one. You can add anything to it and it doesn't change. So that is a savings of $9 to $23 depending on where you live in the country. So instead of paying $20 to $33, you're paying $9.95 to ship the complete kit today. And let's take a look at that. So let's see where. So Kelly, are we showing the complete kit now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the complete kit starts off with. Should we start with the soil blocking part of it? We're just going to do the complete kit. I'm sorry, that's why I'm a little out of sorts here. So the complete kit has everything you need to go from seed starting to getting it out into the garden. And you start that off with the Seed Starting Made Easy online course, which is included with the kit. It also includes the Grow Light, which is a 24-inch tabletop grow light, y'all. And you can support, I'm trying to think, I believe it's if you use those long green trays, 400 of those small blocks will support underneath this. And you can use any combination of the small reusable foam trays that we do to reach that same number. But while I'm saying, you can start a lot of seeds underneath this. Super easy. light to use, it's tabletop, and it has a built-in timer so it stays on 18 hours a day. Now, within the soil blocking kit, you get all the bits and pieces you need to actually start the soil blocks. You get 5 of these foam trays that have 3 sets of blocks. There's that seed pan you just saw me using. It has the toothpicks. It also includes the small blocker that you just saw me use, as well as the bag of ready-made mix, which I use. This makes about 500 of those small blocks. You just add water. It's got all the nutrients. And you also get your choice of either 5 warm season, these are actually cool season seeds, or you can select warm season seeds, right? So that is your choice. So that's all included. Then it also includes the Neptune's Harvest seaweed fish. Now all this comes in this kit, y'all. It's pretty amazing. Seaweed fish fertilizer. It's liquid. You put 1 tablespoon to the gallon is what I do. And I use this in my grow room to water seedlings, as well as it can be used out in the garden. And this is 18 ounces. Yep, it's 18 ounces. It also includes the burlap that I lay, particularly like for snaps. I lay this on top of the blocks of those surface sown seeds to help trap moisture, but yet allow air to pass through. It's a 36-inch square piece approximately. It also includes the row cover. This is 6.5 feet wide by 50 feet long, which we use it for a lot of different uses. But it is really, really handy when you're doing seed starting. Then it also includes, I can't believe all this stuff comes in here, includes the fungus gnat fighting kit. And that is the mosquito bits, which is what you put in, and it's labeled for fungus gnat, y'all. Put this into your watering can. Then it has the sticky traps that you can lay down or hang in your grow room. I actually do both of those to trap the adults that are flying around. And here's that seedling heat mat I was telling you about that I put the cookie cooling rack on. And this has a built-in thermostat, so it keeps this 15 to 20 degrees warmer than the air temperature. Friends, so we're all trying to hold all this stuff. All of this is included in the complete kit. Everything you need from beginning to end for soil blocking is $251.90. What a deal. I mean, I'm not kidding you. What a deal. And it's only $9.95 shipping. Normally, the shipping would be anywhere from $19.95 to $35, depending on wherever you live. So that has everything you need. And, I would say that's a great Christmas gift, but I think the best part is it's a great gift for you. If you're a seed starter and you can just do it in a small space, remember that grow light only takes up 2 feet of countertop space. So you can really start a lot in a small space. Now, if you don't want to go big, I have another offer for you. And that is the Soil Block Maker Kit, which is actually our deal of the day. And this is 20% off the kit. Now remember, the kit has already got a little break in the price. Now it also has an additional 20% off. So the Soil Block Maker Kit includes the Seed Starting Made Easy course, the same course, different picture, but it's the same online course. You get your choice of either 3 packs of cool season seeds or 3 packs of warm season. You select. Oh, sorry. 3 packs of the warm season seed. You actually choose. And then it also includes the same bag of ready-made mix, which is 6 quarts, which makes about 500 of those small blocks. Super dense. Then it also comes with the 5 large trays that hold 3 sets of 20. It has the seed pan, the toothpicks, as well as the small blocker. All of this, everything you need to soil block, normally is normally it's on sale for $71.96. Sorry, y'all, and that's 20% off. Oh, there it is. It's normally $89.95. savings of $17.99. And once again, you only pay $9.95 shipping. So there is a cap on that shipping. Yes, thank you. All right, so that is our number one customer favorite, has been for over 15 years. Now, you can also, let's just say you bought that sole blocking maker kit in the past and you just want the rest of the stuff you saw me show. We have you covered there too. So, we call this the Seed Starting Expansion Kit. It's the difference between the sole block maker kit that you just saw and the big complete kit. So this includes the grow light. It includes the seedling heat mat. It includes the fungus gnat fighting kit, which you can also buy these separately in here in the app. It includes the liquid fertilizer that I use every week in my grow room, the burlap, and the row cover. So you get all of this for $164.95, and again, that shipping is capped at $9.95, so you're saving $3 to $11. And again, that depends on where you live. We're in Virginia. Those of you in California, Oregon, and Washington State, where we send gobs of packages, that's the biggest savings because you're the furthest from us, right? So that takes your soil block maker kit and makes it into the complete kit. So it has the rest of the bits and pieces. And I can't tell you how easy it is to be a successful seed starter when you just have the right stuff, meaning the grow light with the timer, you know, the right tray so you don't have to worry about water running everywhere. So that is what all of this is really about. So now the only time that we use the large blocker, that's what this is. This is the 2-inch blocker. I use this when the seed is too big for the small block. Think sweet peas, sunflowers, zucchini, squash, watermelons, those kinds of things, right? So I don't use it often, but when I need it, like sweet pea season now. So it comes with this little white nipple attachment that you pop in, and that makes a dimple in the 2-inch block to receive a seed, right? So this is $46.95, and you can purchase separately the inserts. And so what happens is you pop these out, and you can put this in, and I think we might have a sample of that. We don't? Nope, yes we do. And this is what it looks like in there. And that makes the perfect size hole in the top of a 2-inch block for you to pot up a small block. Now, I rarely do this with the exception of 3 or 4 plants. We do that on eucalyptus. I do it to all my tomatoes. I do it to my peppers and my eggplants. So that just allows you to grow a little bit bigger plant before it's time to plant them, and they grow gorgeous transplants, y'all. So, because soil block does best with special blocking mix, we sell the ready-made mix, but we also sell all the DIY parts to it. So this is one of the sets that we've actually put together with that in mind. So this set includes the DIY nutrient mix. Now you add to this your compost and peat moss or cocoa fiber, and you can find cocoa fiber bricks over on our big website. So it has the nutrient. It also includes the fungus gnat fighting kit, which if you've started seeds, now you've probably met fungus gnats. This helps you to prevent that from happening to you. So it has that, as well as the seed pan and the toothpicks and the toothpick dispenser. But here's the best part of this set, y'all. This is the soil sifter. This fits perfectly on the top of a 5-gallon bucket, so it's not sliding off. You're not dropping stuff all around. We sift everything, even our ready-made mix. All seed starting mix should be sifted before you use it. What we do is sift our compost, sift our peat moss, and we sift our cocoa fiber once it's incorporated. And then you can have your ready-made ingredients, and you get all of this for $58.95, and all of these pieces are available individually in the in the app if you just want the sieve, let's just say, or the sifter. So part of what I mentioned earlier is having the right stuff. I use trays with no drainage holes that are flat on the bottom, no ridges or troughs in them. And that just allows you, when there's no drainage holes, to do this anywhere in your home. And so this is the mini, which is what held those 20 blocks that I made for the Snapdragons. And then this one is what we call the small, and that'll hold 2 sets of 20 or 2 sets of 4. And then this is the one that comes in the kit, which is called the large, that holds 3 sets of the 20. They're $195, $295, and $395 for 5 packs, and they're available in 25 packs also. And we reuse those foam trays for years, y'all. They're not intended to be disposable. Now, you can also get the Ziegler heat mats separately if you already have the other components. So this is $39.95, and you plug it in. It has a built-in thermostat that gauges, or it sets the pad's temperature based on the air temperature. Seeds germinate best at about 75 to 85 to 90 degrees most frequently. And if your air temperature in your home is 70 degrees, people are thinking, well, I'm close. Not true. That's the air temperature. That massive soil is much cooler. Plugging this in those conditions will heat up 15 degrees more. And this is the step that really makes a huge dip. People skip often, and is the problem. So a Ziegler heat mat can make all the difference in the world. Now, that burlap that I showed you a minute ago is also available individually. And this is how it looks. It's the wide weave burlap. And this allows air to move through it, but yet it helps to retain moisture. We've just never been users of the plastic product just because I learned from Elliot Coleman, it's just so easy. That'll work. Domes and stuff definitely work. However, it's also really easy to encourage disease in that situation, like dampening off. And so because I only go in my grow room once a day in the morning, that's why we had to find another alternative, and that works beautifully. Now, here is that fertilizer you saw that was in the complete seed starting kit. This is an 18 ounces. It's seaweed fish. I use this in my grow room. I use it as foliar feeding, and I use it as a soil drench. And what does that mean, right? A soil drench is just mixing it up according to directions and then pouring it on your soil, right? And you can use it as a foliar feed the same way. You can either put it into a watering can with a sprinkler head, or you can put it in a hose end sprayer and give your garden a bubble bath. Remember that this has a fragrance, not a sweet fragrance either. So you would never do this when buds are on your flowers. You know, you don't want your stems to actually stink, right? So it's got all the directions right on the bottle. We totally love that. We're always asked about what fertilizer do we use. And so we sell the same dry organic fertilizer that we apply in our garden at every bed prep. So that means that every time we prepare a bed for the next planting, we apply the general purpose dry organic fertilizer according to the instructions. And that is 3 pounds of this to 100 square feet. That's about 7.5 cups. And so that way, this is the general food that we know we need to feed our soil, because we're just growing and growing and growing and growing. It's not like a landscape, right, where you plant something and just let it live there. You're not cutting it and making it regrow over and over. If you're squeezing a lot out of your garden, or you want to, this is the food for the teenage boys. That's what you think of your garden as, right? A teenage boy's got their bottomless pits. And this feeds the microbes in the soil that are ones that really take care of your stuff. If you need a larger bag of this, you can find it over on our website. It's $14.95, and we love it. With each passing application, your soil gets healthier each and every time. All right, so it's planting time, y'all, and that means it is time to really remember. You're not going to remember in the spring. Take it from someone that has got a lot of mystery planting in her yard from time to time in gardens. So this is the label and marker bundle. So this comes with 12 of the 12-inch, 10 of the 12-inch wooden markers, and 10 of these 18-inch ones. I really love these. And it includes the garden marker that we love so much. So this is one of those 18-inch garden markers. These were my sweet peas from this fall, from 2 years ago. This stake was outside, and look how you can still read it. The garden marker really works, and you can also find that separately here inside the app. So these are the wooden markers, and after you use both sides, you can either spray paint the ends and just white over them again, so you can use them over and over again. So all right, y'all, Bio 360. This looks like plastic, but it's actually a biodegradable film. It's made out of a corn byproduct. I've used it for, I think now, for probably 12 years. And this is how we were just able to scale our farm, because this suppressed weeds so much in the process that it allowed us to do that. It comes with a light side and with a dark side. And it is super easy to pop a hole in. This is nothing like landscape fabric, y'all. So all of our cool flower beds are made out in the garden right now. When we make beds in the fall, we make it with the black side up so that we'll benefit through the winter of the sunshine on that dark side, just to heat up just a smidgen. Now in the summer months when we make beds, we put the light side up so that we don't toast seedlings, right? I really appreciate this. So it's biodegradable. That means you can turn it into the soil, you can mulch on top of it, and it'll break down. And there's a lot of great benefits to that, which we can't talk about, but this suppresses annual weed seeds that need light to germinate, and this really does it. Now it comes in a 50-foot piece, 1-pack, which is $24.95, or our most popular, the 6-pack, is $119.95. So you get 6 50-foot pieces. These are 48 inches wide. That's the maximum width bed would be 36 inches for you to be able to apply it. And there's videos on the products on here and on our website showing you how to lay it by hand. Now, it's also available in 100-foot pieces. A 1-pack of that is $39.95, and a 3-pack is $110.95. This has been one of the most, perhaps, labor-saving steps that we've taken on our farm, and there's just a lot of applications, so we love it.
And it's wrapped on a plastic sleeve, so you can just slide it over your pole to be able to just pull it out. Get 2 cinder blocks, put your pole through it, and just pull it out, so easy to install.
Yeah, and that's actually in the video anyway, that's really cool, so you need to check it out. Me and 2 cinder blocks can do anything. So another really important thing for the cold months is a row cover. Now this is lightweight row cover. This is the only weight that I use here on the farm, because we don't really use row cover for cold protection, because we grow only things that are winter hardy in our zone, but we use it to protect from wind damage and varmints, just rabbits and squirrels and those types of things that are grazing, and deer. So this comes in a 20-foot piece for $12.95, a 50-foot piece for $26.95, a 100-foot piece for $42.95, and if you need bigger rolls, that is available over on our website. And so, friends, I underestimated how much wind and cold there was over winter. This is why I feel like I've had such success with cool flowers. I just block the wind. They're not getting wind whipped all winter. And so this will really do it, and you just can't imagine all the different uses for row cover. We do all kinds of stuff with it now. And the way we hold our row covers down are the weight bags. These are basically sandbag type bags. And they have a string at the top. And we have found that a 15-pound or so weight in here is the best weight to hold row covers down. We use either sand, gravel, or soil. It's whatever you have available to you. So a 10-pack of these is $10.95, a 25-pack is $24.95, and 50 bags are $39.95. You can never have enough weight bags, and you won't believe all the things you'll use them for once you have them. And we store them with a silage tarp or landscape fabric covering them when they're not in use, because UV rays do age them, and so we try to prevent that. All right, sister, take on over. Thank you.
Hey, folks. Up next, we have our super cushy kneeler. Can you see how thick this is? I've never seen one this thick anywhere else. It is huge. This will save your knees. I'm having knee problems and I have to have this to be able to do anything. The cushy pad is 15 by 20 by 2 inches thick, and it's lightweight. It's only 20 ounces, so easy to carry around to use either in the house doing my baseboard painting or out in the garden. It is made in the USA and it's $42.95, but it will last forever. And if you have knee problems, there is nothing else that's going to do it for you but this. Perfect gift. So be sure to get that person on your list that's having knee problems, something that's going to help them do everything on the floor that they need to do. All right, next up we have our nitrile gloves. Now, if you guys have ever seen us before, you know that we live in these gloves on the farm. This is the Touch. The Touch glove come extra smalls up to large. One pair is $7.95, a 4-pack is $24.95. They have the nitrile coating on the palm, and you get them to fit like a surgeon glove, and you can do anything with them. We have knitters that use this. We use them in the garden. There's just nothing you can't do. The grip is so great. We don't come through the fingers usually on these. We wear out the grippers because we're stripping flowers so much. We would not live without these. You always want to have an extra pair or two on hand in case your dog takes one off or one falls out of your wheelbarrow and you can't find it. So you don't want to be without these. 4-pack, $24.95. That is 4 gifts. These are a gift that everyone loves. And again, extra small, which is kind of for a petite person. I have a large hand and I wear a medium. They're kind of unisex sized. I can't wear a large glove off a shelf, but a medium fits me perfect. Most women wear either an extra small, or medium. And again, be sure to get the 4-pack because these are the best gifts ever. Next up, we have the Nitrile Tough. They're made just like the Nitrile Touch, but they have a double coating on the palm of the nitrile material, and these are great for doing big jobs like moving concrete or wood. Mechanics use these, golfers use these. Again, you want it to fit like a second skin. You forget you have them on, they're so comfortable. And they're the same price. 1 pair is $7.95, 4-pack is $24.95. These come small to extra large. So if you have a big burly guy with big hands, the extra large is going to do him wonderful, and he'll love you for it. So be sure to get a single for $7.95 or the 4-pack for $24.95. Great gift price there, guys. All right, and we also have another pair of gloves that everybody should have a pair of these. These are our gauntlets. They were called the rose gloves. This is a man-made material, so you can just wash these and hang them to dry. They will protect you from all those critters out there that have some spikes or thorns on them. Poison ivy. Covers your arm, wear long sleeves, and just throw them in the washing machine, hang them up to dry. These also come small to extra large. I also wear a medium. These are unisex. They're $37.95, and you should always have a pair of these in case there's brambles you run into. We've rescued birds with these, so if there's wildlife, these will help protect you from their little beaks. So be sure to get your gauntlet gloves. Great gift. When we were at shows, that was a favorite. Everyone loves them, and they're well made. Next up, we have our tool belt. This tool belt has lots of pockets, great for your water bottle, your cell phone, your clippers, whatever you want. But the tip is that it comes with a belt. Wearing a leather belt when it's hot outside is really hot. This is a nice lightweight belt, and when we put it on, we actually put it on and slip it around the back so we can bend and it doesn't impede us bending over because it's on your back. So you can always keep everything handy in this. It's $22.95. Again, great gift for anyone who works in the yard or a farmer. Okay, next up we have our precious little mini dibber. This is the cutest little thing ever. This little wood dibber works great for small little bulbs, or we use it to plant soil blocks in. The smaller soil blocks, you want to make as small a hole as possible. If you're planting through Bio 360, you don't want to make the hole too big because light will get to all those weed seeds that are underneath, and they'll germinate. So you make the hole as small as possible, and you can do that with this little mini dibber. The mini dibber is $7.95, and we just love it. It's so cute for a gift too, a stocking stuffer. The other thing we use to make holes in the Bio 360 to plant seedlings is the hand weeder. We call this the Bobo weeder because this is what she makes. And this will easily poke a hole in that Bio 360. It also is a dandelion weeder, so you can use this to do weeding as well. And the hand weeder is also $7.95. It's nice and heavy, good quality, and it would also make a great gift. All right, next we have yet another tool we love. This is the Sod and Harvest Knife Bundle. Now this is really sharp, kind of like a Ginsu knife, if any of you remember those Ginsu commercials. And it is just really, really sharp. And then its little teeny brother, just as sharp, only smaller. This is great for digging in the soil. We separate perennials with this. We use it to harvest lettuce or anything that's softer like that. We use it to get twine off of the tiller or off the tractor when it gets wound up. And I use it to open my bags of mulch. We get bags of mulch now because it's easier for us to handle than wheelbarrowing a bunch of mulch. And this rips the bag open super easy and fast. And if you keep them inside and keep them from getting wet, they will last and look like this forever. On the farm here, we have a few that have been left out and gotten rusted, but guess what? They still work just as well. So the bundle is $17.95, and this is a 2.5 inch, this is 4 1/4 inch, and you can buy them separately in the app, or you can get the bundle for $17.95. Get one for a friend and keep one for yourself. All right, next up we have the Japanese hand hoe. We carry these around like a purse on the farm. We always keep one with us. This is very, very sharp. And the way you use this is you want it to be flat on the ground. You sink it down about an inch and a half in the soil, and then you pull it through the soil like this. You don't do this because you know what happens when you do this? You pile up soil and you expose weed seeds. And what's going to happen? The next time you go to weed, you're going to have all these weeds because you've exposed those seeds to light, which is what they need to germinate. But when you do this, you disturb less soil. So after you've weeded once a week for a few weeks, guess what? All of those weeds in the top inch of soil have germinated and you've already taken them out while they're little. So now you're done. There's no more weeds coming up. You can also use this way to get big weeds. And we also draw a trough with this to plant seeds in if you're direct planting seeds, which we do here in the fall, our cool flower seeds. So this is a right hand, and you can't use the right hand if you're left-handed. This is the left hand, which we actually had these made because Kelly, our niece who is doing the show controls today, is left-handed. So we now have a left and a right, or you could get both and just do both at the same time. But the Japanese hand hoe are $24.95, another great gift. We sold a ton of these at shows, and year after year people would come back and want more because whoever they gave it to can't live without it. So get yourself a hand hoe, get one for a friend. Next up is the Hori Hori knife. So this knife is actually made to go in the soil. You shouldn't be putting your clippers down in the soil. There's other tools that you shouldn't be prying things with. This is actually made for prying and digging down in the soil. I call it the rock harvester. So if you live in a rocky area and you have to constantly get it out of your bed, this is what you want to be using. It's serrated on the edge. You can also use it to split perennials. And the best story is that we had a little old lady buy this to put on her bedside to use for protection. So if you have that need, you can get it for that. Not a man would walk by our shop at the display at the stores without stopping to pick this up because they couldn't stand it. They had to see what was in the cover. So this is a favorite of men, master gardeners, and just anyone that works in the yard. It is a great tool to have. It's a forever tool, and it's $46.95, and again, it makes the perfect gift. Next up, we have the shear and pouch kit. I'll show you mine first. This is my pouch. This is what a new one looks like. There's Lisa's. That one's 20-some years old. And the great thing about this pouch is that it has a clip. Again, wearing a leather belt in the summer is super hot. So this will clip right on your pocket. It actually makes it more convenient to get because up on your hip is kind of high to grab. But down on our pocket, we can put it in just like it was a gun. We were a cowboy. So this fits on your pocket. Easy, easy. This is the shear. This is my shear. You can see I cut. It comes with a little handle and I've cut mine off because it just gets in the way. But this is spring loaded, so it's very easy on your hand. We used to use Felcos. They're bigger and heavier, and they're harder to squeeze together. We can cut anything with these, including a big sunflower and a smaller woody. These are bonsai shears, and they're just easy to use. We love them, and we always keep them. $55.95. They're also available separately in the app, and we will send you the new ones and not the used ones. I would sell you Lisa's if we can get a good price, though. But this is the shear and pouch kit, and be sure to get one as a gift for someone.
All right, friends, it's flower time. And we always say at the launch of our flowers to say the best way to buy your seeds is to buy them when you meet the flower. And if you store them properly by using the desiccants, which absorb any humidity or moisture that'll be in your container, these come in 2-pack for $2.95 or a 10-pack for $9.95. And so this is what you want to store your seeds in. Why don't I start with the eucalyptus? Or
Sure.
Yeah, so let's do the eucalyptus first, and you can get. So you're just gonna pick them up from back there. So I harvested my eucalyptus a little different this time, so I could show you guys what they look like. So we have silver drop first, silver dollar, and so y'all, this is out in the garden. This is the central stem. This is the third section I've done like this. So I just cut the whole trunk. But this is where I would have cut them out in the garden, is just right here where it meets on the trunk, and this is going to end up giving us a bunch of stems, which I'll show you here in just a moment. And you know, we never throw eucalyptus away. Like that little guy, he'd have use. We'd cut him off and use him for something. So now what we have are all of these individual stems of eucalyptus. And this trunk is basically trash, right? So this is the third of 4. There's one more out there. That's where I would make the cut for these eucalyptus. And that is silver dollar, which is kind of the more traditional eucalyptus. That's the one you see everywhere. Totally love it. And you need to always buy eucalyptus seed immediately when you see it because it's still in short order. And this is parvula gum. See how little and darker green this leaf is? And the same thing with this. You can see where I've already cut previously a central stem that had lots of side shoots like this. And I'm going to do the very same thing again. And all of these, I'm just cutting it right at the stem. I'm trying to catch the stems, y'all, before they hit the floor. And these little guys, you know, if you're selling to Florist or something, you can believe they buy a bunch of these shorter pieces. So now what I have is a whole bunch of parvula gum eucalyptus. And I think this is one of the most useful eucalyptuses because it does have a small leaf stuff is just easier to use. Now this is the same deal. This is polyanthemous eucalyptus, totally different looking, right? And again, it had this central stem, and this is like the second or the third cutting I have made. And I'm just going to make this cut right here at the where it meets that central stem or trunk, if you want to call it that. And that is trash. And then you can just gather these all up and have this super beautiful. I mean, look how different this leaf is. And this is kind of more green than silver, like the silver dollar was. So this is polyanthemous, and it is really beautiful. You know, eucalyptus is a slow grower as a seedling. So we started in early, this is the first seed I start at the new year in January. So get polyanthemous. Now, we still have some great fall crops coming along. This is Purple Majesty. This is a great fall crop, right? They look like a cattail on a corn plant. It's kind of green at the bottom, that nice dark chocolate maple, and it smells like maple syrup, y'all. Totally love that. We still have Flamingo Feather, which is a great celosia color. It's kind of a blushy color that'll follow whatever you put it with, right? So that's just a really great one. And then this is Texas Plumes. And this is a mix of colors, and it's really great colors too. There's shrimp and yellow and orange and bright gold. And they grow super tall in the garden. Totally love them. And this, there wasn't much of this out there, but this, look at this color, y'all. This is Sunday Gold. And I wouldn't grow this probably in early summer. The hot pink color is so much better for summer, but this is the color for fall. This is really beautiful. All right. Then, y'all, guess what I found? Y'all know High Z Celosia is one of my favorites. And it got mowed prematurely here this year. No comment on that. But it regrew. And I just love this stuff. I love when it makes the little flat head because it did come from, the Cressida coxcomb. Look how pretty this is. The foliage is just really beautiful. And we still have Sylphid coming along too. Sylphid is white green. And this is a color that is really useful any time of the year. And I think it's very refreshing in the fall. It's really beautiful. And we've never had enough ageratum. Ageratum's really beautiful, y'all. And if you think the blooms are too small, you just cluster 3 stems together to give your bouquet or whatever you're doing a bang. Really beautiful. And it just kind of pops everything up. I'm trying to see, there's somebody living inside this. Coxcomb is home to a lot of little creatures this time of the year. And this is the coxcomb mix. And so it has many of the colors. And look how beautiful they are for fall, right? I mean, fall is not the best time for coxcomb. As it gets later, they start making seed earlier. But for bouquet fillers, if you can get them before they make seed, they're really pretty. And look at this one. This is Coral Unlimited. Look at that color. How beautiful is that? Really, really pretty. And so now we're to Gumphrena, and we have quite a bunch of, isn't there bicolor somewhere?
I thought that was,
The bicolor, sorry. All right, look at that. People love this bicolor. This is Audra, which I love her growth habit. It's so much easier to harvest than the other Gumphrena varieties. So that's the bicolor. And look at all this. They call this pink, but it's looking more purpley to me. How pretty is that? This will all dry. I mean, look at, I don't know if y'all can see, there's a wreath back there, bunches of little bundles to make more stuff. This is really a great little flower to dry, especially if you're going to do crafts and you have kids. Be perfect to have in like December, right? To have it dried and ready, and then look at it in purple. How pretty is that? Purple in summer bouquets, but in the fall, it can be just as impactful. And if marigolds weren't made for fall, I don't know what is. Look at this. The color of candy corn, my favorite. Gold, yellow, and orange. Really love it. And if you don't know this, the smell or the fragrance of marigolds is from the foliage, y'all. It's not the flowers. So if the fragrance is an issue for you, you can just strip them. And these are giant marigolds, right? I mean, they're super tall out in the garden, big blooms, one of the longest lasting flowers that we use as a cut flower. And then look at them. This is called White Swan, but it's more like a buttercream color. And this is a marigold that we grow as early and all throughout the summer and into fall because it is so useful. And I'm telling you, marigolds will last 3 weeks in a vase. It makes people happy, y'all. And what a great way to go out at the end of the season is with happy customers. Remember how long your flowers lasted, right? And then this is the cardinal basil. And so this basil has a dark stem as well as it kind of has a fatter, shorter flower. So it's kind of fun to bring out at this time of the year. Look how big that flower is. And it has the classic basil fragrance. So that's really a great foliage. And then this one, this is Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus. And this looks a lot like a Japanese maple leaf. And you don't need many of these plants because it's super productive. I mean, like 50, 60 stems from one plant we've gotten. And it's a dark color. You don't want to, even though it's fall, you don't want to overload bouquets. One piece of something dark is plenty enough. So that's Mahogany Splenda. And we're still bringing in Benary's Giants. This is the mix. And they aren't as big and they aren't as voluptuous, but they're still useful. People love zinnias. I mean, I've had people say to me, I don't care if it only lasts for 4 days. I'm still taking some. It just, this time of the year, they're falling victim to disease. And then we also still have the greens, which is just a nice filler, right? Really beautiful. So, y'all know how much I love these little spinning gourds. And so this is how they are fresh. We cut them or pick them, pull them off, whatever you want to call it, when they're dark green like this. Filling up a bowl to put on a table, a crystal bowl or a little wooden bowl, is really, really pretty. And then they dry just like birdhouse gourds do. And then you can make all kinds of stuff out of them. Here's some of our little Halloween ornaments that Susie made last year. And once you paint them, you can do so much with them. There's just so much fun stuff. So this is one that you can grow and decorate your fall and Thanksgiving tables with. Let them dry, give them a little bubble bath, and the kids will be painting these in January and February. Or even you and your friends. I mean, if you're a crafter, right? And then here are our pumpkins on a stick. Who couldn't sell 100 bunches of these in October, right? This is an eggplant. And we would plant these midsummer to fruit at this time of the year. You have to do the timeline walk on your seed packet. And they look just like little baby pumpkins. And deer do eat these, we've learned. They eat the fruit. They won't eat the plant down because this has some pretty ferocious thorns. And we just use a florist knife to pop off those thorns. But that is pumpkin on a stick. There are some thorns still left. And then y'all, I just had to cut this and bring it in. This is the front corner from off of my tunnel. I mean, it was just so loaded with my neighbor's honeybees this morning. This is Love in a Puff. And it definitely hydrates, but you want to obviously probably cut one long stem. These are the seed pods, and they turn as they age into this amber. And when they age into this amber, when you open them up, they have seeds inside. And the seed, I think this is the coolest thing I ever learned in my whole garden and farming life. The seed has a little heart on it. I mean, like, is that most unbelievable thing? Every seed has a perfect little heart on it. It's awesome. Kids love this. So, Love in a Puff is a warm season, tender annual vine that you want to plant midsummer. It definitely will reseed. Be aware of that. But it is super fun, and it's a really fun. That's what's on our tunnel, where kids can walk through and pull the pods and find the seeds. It's really a lot of fun. And then we still have straw flowers, y'all. What color is this, Kelly?
Purple red.
This is purple red. I would say any of the dark colors are benefit in orange and yellow. I mean, the straw flowers, they don't only dry great, they're just amazing cut flowers. And look at this. This is peach or apricot. I forget which we call this. Peach. Look how pretty that is, y'all. To have this for your fall bouquets is really amazing. Okay, and so here we're still having rooster peppers. I'm kind of not cutting them all at one time like I should. So here they are fully red and gorgeous. And can y'all see I cut a bunch of bunches back there, cut them short, made those little bundles so that I can make a wreath out of them later after they've dried. So that's them fully red, which they are super tall stems. I mean, I cut probably 4 or 5 inches off of these. So I have several of these. And here they are green before they turn red. We use this all summer long. This is a very high value florist crop. So these are rooster peppers that were selected because of, I'm getting ready to show you, the fruit rises above most of the foliage. So it is super easy and efficient to actually strip the foliage. That's the problem with peppers. That farmers have to spend so much time stripping them, it's just not profitable. But this is how they grow. See how the fruit is kind of above the foliage? So when you're out there harvesting them, literally, it is just so easy to reach on here and pull the leaves off. I mean, not bad for a high value crop. Pretty dadgum amazing, actually. So those are rooster peppers. We did have this seed grown for us, and it is limited because we didn't grow it this year. It won't be till next year. So be sure to get these on your summer grow list to harvest tons late summer and fall. And then our last crop today this is actually some Kramer's mixed coxcomb. It doesn't have the green in it. That's been drying for a week, and I just wanted to show you. So this is the variety of Celosia coxcomb that was selected for drying because it holds its color. But these are super tall, and they're just really, really beautiful. So the coxcomb that we cut at this time of the year isn't always the best for drying because it's a little too wet outside for them. So you have to experiment. The best time to dry or to harvest for drying is in the dead of summer when it's dry as a bone. All right, so next it's time to wrap up, you guys. Remember to stick around for the Q&A at the very end. And remember to check out our resources over on our big website, thegardenersworkshop.com. We have so many videos over there, y'all, and blogs and our podcasts. We have 2 podcasts. We have Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane. And yesterday's episode that just dropped is sweet pea sowing and overwintering tips. And then also my Field and Garden podcast, so you'll find both of those over there. And just another announcement. This Wednesday, I'm trying to think of the date. So it's the 9th, I believe. The Ask a Flower Farm, if Ask a Flower Farmer is canceled this coming week, because I'll be out of town. I'll be down at the ASCFG Southeastern meeting. And if anybody's coming, please come and let me know you're here and you're one of our store followers here on our phone app. I would love to meet you in person. So no Ask a Flower Farmer. And remember to meet us back here next Friday. And next week's theme is, should you direct sow cool flowers or should you transplant? Which is a hot question, right? So we have, remember that everybody has the opportunity that entered into the drawing. Sorry, y'all, so I don't see names yet, so they haven't pulled the names for the actual drawing yet. So post your questions if you have one, and remember to stick around, and I'm going to do a little Q&A here. Okay, so y'all stand by. Drum roll. We have the winners of our 2 Seed Starting Made Easy courses. And remember that if it's, I have names, and I hope you're here, friends. So remember, if you already own the course, you can actually use this as a gift. And you just submit to us, if you're that winner, in the email that you send to us, you put the email of who needs to get the course. So it doesn't matter if you have the course, you can still give it away, save it for Christmas, whatever. Okay, our first winner is Kelly. How do you think you say that last name?
Hira.
Kelly Hira. I'm sorry if I killed your name. Herrera. Herrera. Kelly Herrera. You're winner number 1. And winner number 2 is Leanne Murphy. So Leanne and Kelly, if you are here, give us a big shout out in the comments. And then what you're going to do is send us an email, but you have to be here to claim it. If you can't come back afterwards, so you have to grab it now. And congratulations, we're so glad you're here. And so send your email to info@thegardenersworkshop.com, but give us a shout out here in the comments. Leanne's here. Congratulations, Leanne. I'm so glad you're here. I love giving away stuff, y'all. All right, so let's look at a couple of questions here. Let's see. I had terrible germination on my Rudbeckia despite everything else working gorgeously. Lizzie, snaps, etc. Any tips and tricks? Yes, Rudbeckia can give you gray hair, right? Rudbeckia, I have found, is a temperature thing, probably. they like it a little cooler than some of the others. And some years, in fact, we were just talking about actually it was last week at our staff meeting, how we have had the best germination of all of our cool flowers this year. I just don't ever remember not having problem trays. You know, there's always somebody in the bunch, like you're talking about, that just has issues. And we grow 9 Rudbeckias. All the Rudbeckias popped. And I feel like I kept my grow room a little cooler than I normally do because I start them first, right? Because they're so slow to germinate. So I would say cooler temperature. So if you want to try it again, so sometimes when we restart, we get much better results. And why is that? Because in the fall, it's cooler later. You know, even though it's my grow room, the air temperature in there is cooler as we start heading into fall and into winter. So that's what I would say to you, because Rudbeckia is really one of those seeds. It doesn't matter if it gets covered or not covered. It says do not cover, but in fact, all of the documentation I've looked at says it can go either way. So temperature is where I would start. Once I harvest my sunflowers, do I pull the stalk and root out since the sunflowers are one and done? That is such a great question. So it really depends on where you're growing them. And first off, they are not easy to pull out. I don't care how small the stalk is. I know this because for years we suffered trying to flip beds with sunflowers in them. So if you're growing and you just have a few or, a handful that you're growing, yes, they're one and done. They're kind of tough to pull out. And there are benefits to leaving the roots of plants that are done. And so me and all the microbes and things that are living on the roots, what we have done in a permanent bed, like a no-till bed, is to cut them off at ground level and just leave what's there, and then put down a little layer of compost and plant, not right on top of it, obviously, but you can plant around it. And that's one really great way to do it because it is super hard to pull those roots out. My cool flowers are between 1 to 2 inches tall. I am 4 weeks from my frost date. Is it better to get them in the ground now or let them keep growing and put them in the ground closer to the frost date when they are up to the recommended size? That's just a roll of the dice. So if you have hoops and row cover and your garden is in really good shape, meaning you don't have chunky clods, it's just nice seed bed or planting bed top, then you could probably plant them, but 1 to 2 inches is kind of small. I think I would probably weigh the other way. I'd let them get a little bit bigger, plant them a little bit later, and you can hoop and row cover them to give them that little bit of warmth they need just to help them cuddle them a little bit if it starts getting cold. Small stuff happens. I mean, all it takes is a slug, 4 bites, the baby plant, and it's gone, right? So I think you should do that. Do you keep seed moist? Do you cover? How do you keep seed moist? Do you cover? So I guess you're talking about seed sown in a tray or a soil block. So when we surface sow, to keep that surface moist, that's what we use the wide weave burlap for. That helps to retain moisture, but it allows air to pass through. When I come out in the morning, I pull the burlap back, I do my watering chores, and then if nothing is sprouted, I put the burlap back on. So 6B, zone 6B, is it too late to start cool season seeds? So the bottom line here, this is the biggest lesson of the day, okay? When you plant cool flowers is based on your frost dates. What you can plant in fall is based on your zone. So you being in 6B just says, okay, you can plant this list of plants because it's winter hardy. It's your frost dates that really dictate that. And you have more wiggle room in planting transplants than direct sowing, meaning you really can't direct sow really late because there's not enough warmth outside to get seeds to sprout. But you can push the envelope by starting transplants a little bit late because when you get them in the ground, ultimately you can hoop and cover them. Get the beds prepared because the soil our soil is so saturated now from the hurricane that we'll never be able to work soil again until probably next April. So our beds were already prepared, thank goodness. So that's the really big question. All right. I don't know anything about geraniums. Oh, how tall is the eucalyptus plant that you cut from today? Will it grow back for next season? Great question. So first off, so I live in winter hardiness zone 8A, which means that my winters don't go down much before below 15 degrees typically. And I live right on the edge of where eucalyptus will winter over. So with a little bit of extra care, I'm able to winter it over. And that means this time of the year, as I'm cutting it down, you know, I want to leave, if this is my hands, the soil, I want to leave a plant maybe about this tall, and it usually has a few sprigs. You haven't got to cut anything off from the bottom. And then I pile this with leaves, just regular leaves, 10 or 12 inches deep with leaves. Then we hoop and we double row cover them once winter starts. And just leave it like that all winter. And I have successfully many times wintered over eucalyptus. And why would you do that? Because the harvest is 4 times as much the following year. However, this year, these plants were all started in January and planted the 1st of April. And the polyanthumus and the silver dollar are about this tall. And I didn't pinch them. Frankly, I'm afraid to pinch eucalyptus. You know what I mean? It's such a slow grower. And anyway, so I didn't pinch it as this big central stem and all these awesome side shoots. And so I've been slowly cutting them down to be able to leave this. And in fact, they can't winter over where they are in my garden this year either. So that answers that question. So friends, we are so glad that you joined us here today. Congratulations, Leanne and Kelly. If you guys both were here, and I'm glad you got the course. And I will see you next Friday right back here. Ciao, friends.